Welcome, my lords, back to Second Breakfast, Season 2, Episode 7. My name is Jason, and with me, as always, is our co-host, Swarls Barkley.
Yo,
what's
up,
up,
everyone?
Swarls?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm excited to watch the last episode. I know we're here to talk about the seventh episode, but we just finished our watch through the 7th episode, and boy, howdy, do we end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, imagine you have to wait a week to watch it, dude.
I would have probably killed every single thing that is within a 5-mile. No, I'm kidding. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, it's a banger. It ends off on a crazy cliffhanger.
Yes.
I remember the first time watching this being like, wow, this is like the longest episode like ever.
It was a very long episode. I think it was an hour and 20 minutes. So it was a little bit longer than it normally would be.
Yeah, I remember I kept thinking like, oh man, it's about to end here. Oh man, it's about to end here. Like over and over. It just keeps
so
going.
Crazy. Hour and 12. So this one's an hour and 12. The next one's an hour and 13. So it's a little bit longer. It's like almost like a first episode, you know?
What's interesting about this episode is it's actually the second highest rated of the show.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It's the highest rated episode of the season on IMDb, and the only other episode that's rated higher than it is in season 1, Udun, which is when they siege and blow it up. So,
that makes sense a little bit. That
7.9.
So the director for this one is, of course, Charlotte Brandstrom. Writers John DePayne, Patrick McKay, and Justin Doble. I know we really didn't go over that the last time, but I kind of want to give some shouts, some props. Great episode, obviously. True. And I know that this one's a little bit different. It wasn't COVID. First time was COVID. This one's the actor strike. We kind of went over that. But they also said because of that strike, I think they didn't have necessarily, like, the writers were the showrunners for this, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember Sean talking about that a little bit. So...
Yeah, there's basically a period of time where like they kind of had to like, okay, it's finished writing. Like you guys just have to do what is on there because
exactly
the actor's strike hadn't started yet.
Exactly, and so I know that there was like a little push for everything, but anywho, do you want to jump into this?
Yeah, dude, we can just go straight into it.
Let's just jump straight in.
This one really starts out in a different way than you would think because, you know, it's starts off with Celebrimbor having some nice tea, the birds are chirping, you know.
It's very happy, especially after we saw, you know, hellfire raining down on us. It's very happy.
Not how you would expect it when you cut from the brimstone raining to
nothing like a nice bit of tea in the morning. Yeah, no, that one was shocking because I was just like, I remember, you know, we just got done watching this, but I just remember being like, okay, so he's making the rings and everything is happy because he's still under this, you know, spell. So how did they get the mithril is my first thought. Obviously, we'll go over that, but I was just like sitting there dumbfounded, like, why, how is he going to corrupt these rings if he's not there for the process? Because obviously he's the one that put the mithril in with the dwarves. So that's how they corrupted it.
Right.
Or, you know, that's how it got corrupted. So I was just like, how is this going to go about? So I was really intrigued by this. But also the other thing is I want to give a quick shout out because I just noticed something this episode. Anatar is dressed like one of our good friends, Jay. During the MDAs, our good friend Corinne decided to wear a bird outfit and definitely gives Corin vibes.
Okay, that's a very specific shout out, but yeah, no, that's true.
No, it's a shout out.
That's true.
It's crazy. But I was just like, I jotted it down. I was like, dude, this is so funny. I have to say something about it. But so yeah, after that nice, pleasant thing that we saw, we actually get to see what's actually happening, and it's not good. Raytheon is burning.
Yeah.
So
it seems like a lot of time has passed since the siege has been ongoing for a while, right?
It could have been like weeks.
It could be
days, weeks, anything.
Well, and it really seems like it's been weeks because in the conversation that Celebrimbor and Sauron have, Celebrimbor says, these past few weeks I've had such clarity. So I think the idea is that it has been several weeks. And it would make sense because, it takes time to, have Elrond get all the way back to like the other side. Like,
yeah, he had to
going
go to
from like
Khazad-dûm
basically central. Yeah, so like he has to go from basically being at Eregion almost, then get to Khazad-dûm, then go all the way back and talk to Gil-galad, and then bring the army, like muster the army and bring the army, right? So it makes sense.
Yeah,
that
not unless he
weeks.
like broke off from the army. He could have broken off from the army, went to Khazad-dûm, and then met back up, I guess. Because he was actually in his like battle gear, so
he was in full armor. Yeah.
So that would have probably made the most sense, but like still, it could have been like weeks. I mean, most likely was weeks. I mean, man's been just working. I mean, he had pretty much all the rings at least formed. It looked like at that time, and we know that it takes quite a long time to make those things. So he had 9 of them made pretty much right at that point. They just didn't have their jewels set in. Pretty much is what it looked like.
No, yeah, it's crazy, like how early into the episode he realizes, and because immediately at the beginning he notices the mouse and he marks the candle, and it's crazy how fast Celebrimbor realizes that he's in this like simulation, basically, right? Because really, it's only 15 minutes into the episode. So he's only like, I guess obviously he's been under the spell for a couple of weeks, but as far as how fast into the episode he's confronting it, it's only 15 minutes into the episode.
Really? That's crazy. I mean,
it feels like it's so much longer into the episode.
Yeah, because I mean, they do like the whole, they dammed the river. That was the other thing that they did. That was kind of crazy. Do you like that? That's my thought. Do you think that that's good writing, or do you think that's kind of just like, you know what, it's a mythical thing, okay, yeah, this could happen, like that's my thought on that.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like,
okay,
it is like known for being on a river or whatever, and it was sieged and it was completely taken, so like, yeah.
So it makes sense then.
It makes sense. You just have to write how they do it, right? And there's a river right there, so
yeah,
that would most likely have been how they would try to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I guess my biggest thing is just like how fast it dams, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I would figure the specifics, just it seems like the water's just perfectly dammed, and it's like, they made that just by shooting catapults, but at the same time I'm trying not to be too nitpicky, but that's like as nitpicky as I'm going to get on that one.
Well, like real life sieges are like normally just like you just starve them out and blow them up from the outside, basically, right? Like
exactly.
It doesn't make great television if you just only do it like that, right? So to get into the more hand-to-hand combat with this, I think it's totally fine. And I think it was a cool transition where you see Arondir's POV of him seeing the water drained
and just
as he comes up the hill. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He makes it to Eregion.
And I thought the animation for that was really cool when they do like the wide shot on the city and you're seeing it in a new light where and like if you think about it, between the first season and this season, like anytime there was this big wide shot of Eregion, like it's such a stark contrast to now where like there's smoke everywhere, buildings broken, burning. Definitely. Smoke everywhere, the water's cleared, like there was like that big like tidal wave kind of thing. That I thought that was so amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely unsettling the way that they've got this going, it's like you just feel like, I don't know, to me it reminded me a little bit of Minas Tirith, like just like the way it's been like ransacked and everything, almost, they're just literally just like sieging and throwing anything they can. The only thing we don't have is them having their own catapults to throw, bits of building back at the other team, the other people.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy Arondir makes it to Eregion. I'm super happy about that. I'm so happy about it. We'll get to it. But as you kind of noted, Sauron has Celebrimbor in a loop, which he snipes it pretty much right from the start. I want. What do you think of this loop? Do you think that it should have been more, or do you think that he was just thinking, "Oh, he's under my spell. He's fine. I don't have to do anything else."
Like, do I think he should have made the loop
he should have
longer?
Made the
basically?
loop longer, made it more intricate. I mean, granted, it's probably lasted for weeks now, but at what point do you think that he starts to recognize it? Obviously, you know.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's one of those things where like he's doing this like insane spell on him to make him like to block out an entire siege that's going on outside, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like conjuring like it being completely clean, like any debris that falls in, like he doesn't notice or see. Even if he gets hit by something, he doesn't notice or see.
Exactly.
Like he doesn't see the dust and dirt and just failed attempts stuff everywhere. Like I think it would be an understandable thing, like he doesn't think about how this random rat running through every day or something would be noticed.
Yeah, and I mean, like I kind of actually talked myself out of it. He did not notice until like weeks after on end, you know? So that does make a little bit more sense, you know? Like you would probably notice it after weeks upon end. Like he's a smart elf. He would eventually piece it together. So, but
when it keeps doing like the exact same like call too, like right? Like if it just had ran, I think it would be like he'd be like, "Oh, it just happens to run through here."
Exactly, yeah.
Every once in a while, but like it does the same animation basically. Like I think anyone wouldn't like the call of it too. Like it's like chirping or whatever, squeaky.
It's all squeaker McSqueaking. With this deal though, I will have to say after they get out of he starts to see himself in the mirror. He sees Feanor's hammer. He sees like a jewel missing from it and everything like that, and he starts to notice things even more, and that's where he really confronts Anatar about this, Sauron about this, and says, you know, like, what's going on here? You know, this is terrible. Like, we seem to have all the time in the world. Why aren't you telling me what's going on here? And that's where the illusion kind of lifts, and he hears everything. And I wrote down something because he's supposed to be the god of gifts, right? That's like kind of his thing. So it was interesting because they said whatever this is, it's hardly a gift, and that is like he realized that in that instant that he isn't from the Valar just because of everything that's going on. You know, he's like, the Valar would not put me through this. This is crazy. But it's like it's kind of crazy to turn it on his head. I thought that was really interesting. I liked that writing right there.
I think the writing is also really good in the idea that like he's so good at gaslighting him, right? And he's like, what have I done to you? You begged me to like help you. You begged for my instruction, and now a mouse scurries by and you're like just falling apart. Like, and you can tell that he kind of realizes like I'm listening to him. No, I can't listen to him. And then what have you done to me? Like when he shouts it, I remember that that part very specifically because it was used in some of the commercials and stuff, and I remember being oh boy, like I'm so ready for this moment, and now we're finally here, and it did not let down.
Yep. Yeah. No. That was.
I like the twitch in it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Sauron's face when he says no emissary of the Valar would do this.
We also see that Feanor's hammer is gone. It's lost forever. There's no way they're finding that thing ever again. It just got thrown out. He got to yeet it out a window.
Yeah, maybe he got a like cross map kill on an orc or something. You know.
True.
MW2 style.
You know, it was a cross the map tomahawk. But I did write down something that, you know, the spell's broken. He can see everything. He's outside and everything. And I did write down poor doggo because there is a dog in this episode, and I feel bad for that dog.
That dog like licking its owner's hand or whatever. That's dead.
Yep. When it's dead. He's also Celebrimbor is built like a freaking tank. He walks outside and just gets blasted. He just gets blasted by a freaking trebuchet, freaking bombardment. I don't know what to
Trebuchet
call
fire, yeah.
Yeah. And
I think it's kind of silly that it happens both times he walks out, like
both
frame
times,
one.
exactly.
It's like,
both
all right,
times.
come on, guys. Like, come on.
Come
now.
on. But I will have to say, I do feel terrible for Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
He's being gaslit to all ends. Obviously, he's under mental warfare, everything. And at this time, we come to find out, I know why he didn't have to be in the ring making. It's because they used Sauron's blood to make these rings.
Yep.
Which that's probably not what you. That's probably not what you want for this. That's probably not a good thing.
Yeah.
It might lead to some bad things for the 9 men that wear these rings. Maybe, you know, they might lose their minds able and ride around on horses. And maybe be called
just get
the
Aura.
ring wraiths.
Wraithish.
There'd be
the cut to the because you do see him earlier in the episode where his face is all messed up, but you don't get like a super good look at him, and so it's like easy to forget it. And then later it pans to the city and then pans back to him, and you see he's all dirty and bloodied and stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh.
And I was just like, during that episode, I'm just like,
the study,
what?
Yeah, going from seeing the study like completely perfect, how Celebrimbor was seeing it, and then turning around and seeing this perfect study's actually also been completely destroyed. Like Celebrimbor isn't actually, because like, you know, you could easily have that feeling of like, well, I don't really feel as bad for Celebrimbor because like, you know, he's safe in this tower, he hasn't had to deal with anything.
Exactly.
But it's actually just, he has been suffering. He just doesn't even really know it, right? Like,
yeah, he's probably gotten hit in the head.
Surrounded
just, like,
in
blood.
Yeah, he's surrounded in filth, debris, and his hands are dirty as hell. His face is dirty as hell. Like you said, he has blood on his head. Like you immediately, and then he's sobbing. Such a good performance. Like you immediately are like, oh my gosh! Like I can't believe Celebrimbor has just been completely unbound in these last like 15 seconds, you know. I also love how he asks like he realizes who he is.
He's the one that pushes it together.
Are you
he
not?
Puts it all together. But it definitely comes from whenever he sees the blood. You know, that's like, and that's like another thing. It's just like so interesting to me. I want to know what turns their blood black. Is like darkness evil? Like, does that just like, you know, like incarnate just turn their blood to pitch, as someone said? I think Celebrimbor said it was pitch.
Yeah, I mean orc blood is black, right?
Exactly.
So I think it just like ends up like making sense. Like, oh, you know, this blood isn't red; it's not human. You know,
true,
or elf.
Yeah, but I mean, Sauron plays him like a fiddle. I mean, he's you know, the ultimate deceiver. You know, for obvious reasons. But he's in all their heads. You know, like he constantly is like there telling all the other elves, even, you know, like Merdania, you know, like, I am with you, I'm here to help you. And it's just like, you can tell he's just spinning his web and he just has everybody just on his side. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when he does come out and gets hit by the gets just absolutely spawn trapped by the siege engine. He comes out, and I remember being like, well, wait, he was literally in the middle of confronting Sauron. Why the hell is he allowed to, like, leave this tower all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
And then you quickly see after it's to try and, like, break him more mentally, right? To see, you know.
See his own people turn against him.
The other people have turned against you, too. Yep. The only way to make this stop, like, after he, you know, kills Merdania, like, makes Celebrimbor throw him. And it's the first sign that, like, oh, he can literally control people, like their physical body.
He can actually control what they're doing. It is a good foreshadowing.
She gets thrown, and it's the most fucked up shit, dude. Like, she gets thrown off, lands, and her face is just dirty as hell, blood all over her face already, and then just lays there and gets her head chopped off. And then, my God, Charlie Vickers' face when he walks up and just stands next to him is the most evil, imposing shit ever, dude. Like, this is some straight Lucifer shit. Like, it is insane, the aura and presence of evil that he has in this scene where he's just made him kill her, watch her get killed, and he manipulated her. He's still manipulating all of them and just saying, all this can end as long as you get me the 9. It's like, oh my gosh, like, I'll spare this city. It's so... How his face looks in that is just so insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, Charlie Vickers, obviously we've been saying it this entire time, but he was born to play this role, it seems like. But just like, I don't know, like getting back into the battle of everything. Do you think that Sauron planned for the elves to come the way they did? Like the trumpets blare and everything. Also, why are you giving yourself away? Why and all
this
of
is like a typical,
I know it's typical
fantasy thing.
I know, it's just like, geez,
well, the idea
guys.
is that, I mean, like they did that in like real war.
Yeah, real war,
like,
yeah.
They wouldn't, in real war, they wouldn't have like given them time to like form rank, and it wouldn't be like a Dragon Ball Z fight where like, oh, I'm powering up and you're powering up. Like, they would have blasted the horns as a fear tactic, like it strikes fear into the hearts of your enemies, right?
Yeah. They wouldn't have let them form rank. They would have just blown right through everything. Kind of like what happens in the third movie, Return of the King.
Yeah, there's like two ways that you can look at the show, right? And we can talk about it a little bit more next episode, but in this episode you see it a little bit, and there's kind of two different ways that you can interpret like how much is Sauron actually doing, right? Where you know, is he influencing King Durin to go rogue and get the Balrog to come?
I think yes, but that's just me.
Yeah,
so far
it's a very clever way of editing it where
you see
the dwarves are about to march, and then it cuts to Sauron, and he looks like he was meditating or something, right? Like he was in his mind. He was not present in that moment. So you're really questioning like how much is he actually? And it's a thing that I remember me and Sean talked about earlier in the season where when Galadriel and Elrond are trying to get to Eregion to check, and that giant bridge has been destroyed.
Yeah.
And it's a question of, okay, did Sauron actually do something to have this bridge be destroyed so that Eregion can't be helped? Or is this just another like thing that just so happened to break from basically Mordor being created, from Mount Doom blowing, right?
So is this something that he actually did, or is this just bad luck?
Right, exactly. It's like how much of it was his design, his plan, how much of it is something that he himself literally affected or caused to happen. I guess it's just really how much do you read into it and how much do you credit him, essentially.
Yeah. So obviously the elves come, they're marching down, but Adar has a secret weapon to stop them that he just knows without a doubt is going to stop all of the elves in their tracks, specifically Elrond, since he's the leader. But it's Galadriel. She's in chains. She's in a little prison cell makeshift, deal, and she's got a spear to her neck. And they're gonna kill her unless they stop. And then I guess not to be too much like a pirate, but they have a little bit of a parlay in the midst of a battle. they start having a little diplomacy in the midst of a battle. Parlay. So in this, I still don't see what really was to gain out of all of it. It seemed like it still went down. The only thing that was gained is Galadriel's not dead. She's just chained up. I do think the funniest thing though was if she talks again, cut out her tongue, and the orc just goes and puts a blade right to her neck, and it's like, that's not her tongue.
Yeah, I said her tongue, not her neck.
It's crazy.
The orcs are just that stupid.
They don't know what a tongue is, man.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the plan of getting Galadriel to be able to escape? What do you think of this?
Oh, I remember watching it, and I remember Sean really wanting to like ship them together, so he was like he was into it, but I was definitely not into it.
Yeah,
and then
no,
also,
I'm not really into that.
Also, I remember literally you can physically see him put the thing into her hand.
Yeah.
After it pulls back from him kissing.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. He says, "Oh, forgive me," and it's because he's about to kiss her, and he's like, "Hey, I need to distract. Like, I need to have an excuse."
Like, we all know that was exactly, that was not a romantic kiss. That was I'm trying to get you free from this kiss. This is like this is the only thing I can think of. Forgive me for doing this. I know you're married, but come on. But
yeah, or was married. I guess.
Yeah, was married technically. I don't know. I still have a feeling that they're coming back somehow.
He might be alive. Yeah.
Yeah. I have it written that cinema, hands up, cinema. Kisses cinema. But I think that this. What do you think of Adar versus Elrond that's going on? I really feel like Adar's like almost a league above Elrond right now.
Yeah.
Like it seems like Elrond's all he's there to do is get his friend out, and then he's over his head after that. Like he's a diplomat. He's there to, and he's not even good at doing that right now. Like I don't get what's going on with all this. Like the only thing he was good at doing is getting Galadriel out, and then as we know, she's not even really in any of these fights. She's just trying to get out. So I don't know. Yeah. That was kind of an interesting one.
I think where, basically like a major issue that we're seeing with Adar in this episode is his communication skills like aren't great. Like he does a good job at, getting people to talk themselves into a corner, right? By being quiet.
Yeah,
like he basically allows Galadriel to confess everything just by listening and asking certain probing questions, and like he doesn't actually end up needing to say too much and just lets them talk themselves into a corner, right? But because of that, he could, if he was a better communicator, maybe he could have said, "Hey, like, yo, Sauron, I want to kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get to him and I'll kill him," right? Like, or go into the city right now and bring him out to me right now. I dare you, kind of thing, right? Like they could have, there could have been a bit of a longer discussion, as to what to do here, and maybe a lot less people would die, right? But
for sure,
I do like the callback that Adar brings up his ancestors, because he is like an OG orc, like he's been awake the entire time, like the entire timeline of the elves. Like
exactly,
he would be one of the oldest elves in existence.
Yes. And it's just like, I don't know, I really like Adar as like, like just a character in general. I just wish that they could come to, and I understand there's just a difference of agreements to be able to, like he wants to be able to live free, and the elves would see them as like a scourge on the earth, so they would want to wipe them out. So he's just trying to supposedly trying to protect his children. He's really just trying to kill Sauron because, he just sees evil, I guess. I don't know. He's just blinded by, his want to kill Sauron, as we'll see later in this episode. But it's just very interesting to me, and a interesting character. I just wish they could both be on the same side at this point.
I think what it would have been interesting and made me have less like, well, what if they did this? What if they did that with this type of diplomacy section, is him knowing, okay, they want the ring, and like that's the idea, right? and then him talking to Gil-galad and being like, because he doesn't even like the rings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, like I think Elrond would gladly give him this
The
one
ring, yeah.
elven ring because they still have two, right?
Yeah,
Give him the one elven ring, and then we can save Galadriel, and then she can tell us everything, right?
Exactly.
I think
and you have like one of your best fighters in this, timeline fighting with you if you want that.
Yeah, and
like,
I think
really
maybe they
sucks.
thought of that, and then because then basically the answer is like no, they still want it, and then Gil-galad would just look like an idiot or something, right? Like
Yeah. So
or just stubborn.
I have a what if for you right here, or like a hypothetical or whatever. Say you're on the ship going to Valinor, and you're one of the people that fought with Galadriel. And you somehow know what's happening in Middle Earth right now. Are you happy you're in Valinor, or are you wishing you were back there fighting?
Nah, bro, I'm chilling in Valinor.
You're chilling.
Bro.
You're chilling. You're chilling. You're like, screw those guys. We're happy here.
I didn't even have to go through the pain of death, and I'm here, bro. I'm chilling.
Oh, dude, it's so crazy. I constantly think about like those people. It's like, dude, they sent like their best fighters back home, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But anywho, Celebrimbor, oh no. The next thing is Durin. So obviously we saw back that Elrond went back and talked to Durin and said, I need your help or thousands are going to die. And so Durin is possibly got one of the best speeches here in Rings of Power. I really enjoyed this speech a lot. He gets everybody in Khazad-dûm to come to the aid of their friends, as he calls it, even though his dad has, basically said no, barring all of it. He has got everybody's to pitch in and the entire mountain to go to war, basically. So it's really, really interesting. I really enjoyed this little scene. It shows the depth of Khazad-dûm, but it also shows such a wide variety of characters too that we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, I think the thing, like, I think he does an amazing job. There's two things with the speech that I kind of want to nitpick, low-key.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, how he delivers it is amazing, but the, like, small group of dwarves that he's saying it to, like, when they're cheering, it sounds so quiet, right? And, like, it doesn't feel like they're in this great grand hall that would, like, echo them, right? Until he goes and, like, and for him to, go look over to the side and then do the Khazad-dûm or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It like, why didn't he just do the speech from there? I think it makes the speech, like, have his voice echo more and have him do it, because it just feels so weird to me. Like,
the reason why I think
unnatural.
he doesn't do it though, is because that's where his father always gives all of his speeches from. Maybe he doesn't want to seem like he's like, trying to take his father's spot entirely. He's just trying to do like his princely duty. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, even from like a writing standpoint, I mean, right? Like, if you had this idea that he's gonna be booming this over this, like, just have him do the whole speech there. Yeah. And I think it's much cooler. You can still do the exact same shots, and then also have it where it doesn't sound like there's only like a handful of people in the room when they're cheering at first. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
That part feels so weird.
You could tell that he's a little bit nervous about this. Like he's hesitant about doing it at first, which that's kind of like, in my opinion, maybe it like helps him to see only like a small amount of people first, and then go to the big, just like a stage fright type of thing too. Like, I'm not trying to like,
you're
I'm
looking at it from like
a
in lore perspective.
Yeah,
I'm saying from a writer's perspective, when you already have this shot made, you could literally just have him standing there the whole time doing it, and then still use these exact same shots of these extras you already did and cut between them. Like, it doesn't need to have, he doesn't need to be standing looking directly at them for them to look at him. You know what I mean? Like,
true. No, I get what you're saying.
I think from a writing, like how they directed
like cinematography.
it. yeah, I like how they directed it. I think is just so weird. And then also the other nitpick I have with it is he's like our friends and dwarven loyalty, bro. The dwarves and elves fucking hate each other still.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This whole Elrond Durin thing is like sacrilegious and also like just not canon, really. Like Celebrimbor and Durin are the only ones who really have a relationship in the canon, and like they're the ones who like made that wall that has the gates of Moria, that has the Moonstone and shit.
The Moonstone,
like that's canon, but not this Elrond Durin relationship. But
is
even
the
so,
is the Reagan Forge as well like canon? Like them making the forge together? Okay.
Like, well, not specifically that spot, but like they had like collabs, and that's why they were friends, right?
Okay.
So like it's safe to say they could have done that together, right? Yeah. And in the fact that there is mithril in Moria,
the mines,
that's how they would. That's what they would have been trading a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like that type of stuff, I think makes sense. But even so, it's like this is like the prince and a diplomat having like being friends and then being like, we will stand with our friends, and it's like, bro, I don't fucking know these people, you know what I mean? Like I hate these people. I hate
you're
the
saying
elves,
he shouldn't have gotten a cheer.
I think that's that like dwarven loyalty to ourselves or to doing what's right or whatever.
That would have made more sense to you.
We won't be taken over by sorcery.
Yeah.
That like the dwarven will is stronger.
I mean, I maybe he should have said my friend. I don't know. Like that would have been made more sense at that point. But like the points that you're making, I definitely see. Like if he would have done like you're saying a we won't be taken over by sorcery or something like that. That would probably would have been better writing. But writing be danged. This is still cool.
Yeah, it's still delivered incredibly well, and barring the weird 5 people in the room feeling like,
hey man, they had to make do with what they had,
it was like it was like they realized they didn't have people to be standing in for the shot, and so they were like literally just had like some CGI. Of the workers dressed up type shit.
Yeah, they had CGI.
Like the CGI part, I think it works better, obviously, but like.
During the speech, we do get to see flashes of everything. We see Galadriel escaping. We see Celebrimbor is at his desk making the rings with Anatar looking over and is now shackled to said desk. So that's not good. But also, we do know that we also see Elrond escaping on his horse or just leaving on his horse. And that horse, speaking of it, we should have saved the horse, but I digress. But we see the king get up and he has his axe. That can't be good. He's hearing everything. That has to be a bad omen. We probably know that he has.
He's looking devious.
That just doesn't look good, in my opinion. Also, I don't know if I got to say this last on any of the pods I was on. I still love that Durin has his beard tied to his belt. It's so funny and cool to me. Like I love that. It's cool. Yeah, this is like it's a good speech in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the depth that it's brought to Khazad-dûm. But we're back into it. We're back into the fight. We see all the elves are charging now, and it's mass chaos. We're rounding up orcs. We're battling it out. What do you think of these fight scenes? Did you think that these were all put together well, or do you think that it was something was missing from them?
Oh no, they're done very well. I think the scene where the orc cuts the horse's throat and then like licks the blood, like that scene, that shot is just so high quality. Like I feel like that shot's in like Giga Ultra 4K, like, and it just, I think it perfectly like captures just like the evilness and freakiness of orcs, right?
True. He gets his helmet too. He takes his helmet off of freaking Elrond, slashes him on the,
and it cuts his face.
Yep.
I want to see if I can see who
Who the orc is?
Yeah.
Dude, I will have to say though, launching that orc at the wall, that is balls right there. You know, you're like, I might kill some of my own, but I'm killing you for certain because you killed my horse. And you know, we made the joke: take out the ring, heal the horse. Take out the ring, heal the horse. But
we're like, come on, you have the ring, don't you? Because we don't actually know that he has it at that point, but
we didn't know it at that point. But we were just like, come on. At this point, who do you think's winning this fight?
I mean, I know, but I think they do a good job of like, you can see that they're doing
bit of the wall to crumble, you know?
Yeah. I mean, in this scene, you know, you see mostly the orcs are getting slaughtered, right?
Yeah.
Like some have died some elves have died on the wall, and some elves have died in the immediate fighting, and you can see like, oh, like there's the loss of the horse and stuff, and you know, they're bringing the Ravager to the wall to pull down the wall and all that. But then it cuts to Glug talking to Adar and saying, well, we might not be able to breach it. The elf is doing better than we thought. His troops already destroyed 5 of our trebuchets. Mm-hmm. We're dying. Like, there's a lot of us dying. Mm-hmm. Should we retreat? Like, and he's just like the biggest like pussy orc basically of all time, right? But like, you know, all the orcs are like very like, you know, they want to.
Well, it shows that he values.
They're like selfish, right?
Yeah, they like value their life.
They just want to live, right?
Yeah, they value their life, is what it's showing at this point. And Adar's losing their troops because of it, which is not a side of the orcs that we've seen, obviously.
Well, and I think like you'll see more in the next episode, but I wish that they had done a little bit more scenes with this guy to flesh him out a little bit more. Because at this point, he just seems like he's just like kind of scared. And, you know, there's the scene in the other episode where, you know, he basically is showing apprehension to attack the city in general. And then it shows him basically with like a female orc holding a baby, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this nice dad orc doesn't want to go to war and abandon his family or whatever, right? But like, which like to some people is ridiculous. I think it's like somewhat understandable, but when you mix it with him doing this, like, oh, like you told us that you loved us, and then he says, yeah, far too much for you to see you become Sauron's slaves, right? Yeah. It just shows another part of like, it seems like if he would just communicate a little bit more as to like what Sauron would force them to do and what their lives would be if Sauron comes back into power, and like if they would have shown him like either doing that in like a flashback or like, because at this point these orcs don't even actually know Sauron because it's been hundreds and hundreds of years. Like he's just like a fucking boogeyman to them, right? Like all they've known is Adar.
Yeah, they don't know what it's like to be under his control for certain.
They're basically just chasing a boogeyman and seeing all of these people die, and like they haven't even seen Sauron yet, right? Like they've literally just been killing elves.
Yeah,
as far as they understand. So I think the action scenes are like so amazing as far as quality, and the choreography looks great. There was never anything where I was like, that looks silly or that looks fake or
I think
there's only one part where it's like, I remember seeing people talk about it online where people were nitpicking with like how the troll didn't really seem to like get pretty much anything really done.
Really?
Like he was just kind of a...
I thought he got a lot done. I mean, he killed multiple elves. That would have taken a lot longer for just orcs to kill.
Right, but it's like it between their hesitance to invite him earlier in the season and like basically getting like the troll being like, where's Sauron, right? And you're not sure if it's because he wants to kill Sauron or if it's because his allegiance is to Sauron. Like there's like a gray area there.
Yeah.
And then His name is Damrod.
Yep.
And
Damrod.
he's actually, his theme that plays when he comes out is actually the credits as well, which is very jarring. Like, basically, like, Lord of the Rings metal, right? Like, it doesn't have, like, guitar, but it has that metal of, like, the drums, like, some of the breakdowns. It has Jens Kidman from Meshuggah singing it. And he goes hard. I've actually been listening to it the entire episode while we've been recording. And it goes hard. It puts me in the right mood for this siege, you know?
Yes, exactly. You're constantly you're screaming non-pocked in your head, aren't you?
There's definitely like really cool stuff where like, you know, he like steps on an orc and an elf together and then slams his like mace into them while it's on fire and flings them into more people and, you know, picks up...
He has no care who
orcs to block the arrows that Arondir's firing and stuff.
Exactly.
And like you see
no care.
You see Adar looking at Glug, and Glug is like looking disapprovingly at how these orcs are being killed, and you can kind of see like Adar's eyes getting watery and stuff, but like he basically just like kills a couple of nobodies and then dies. Like he doesn't even like do anything with the Ravager really. Like he kind of weakens the wall a little bit more, but it doesn't even end up getting pulled down until after he dies, right? So like it that part I would say is like the only part where like when you think watching it the first time, I remember being like, wow, this guy's badass, like this is cool and he's got the cool theme. But like in reality, he doesn't really get much done at all. Like
I mean, he gets the job done that he needed to get done, and that's weakening the wall just enough to where they could still pillage and go through it eventually.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm saying, like he literally
and I mean
does enough.
The alternative is that like maybe he like kills Arondir or somebody, right?
Yeah.
But
then I would hate that.
But yeah, then I wouldn't like it. But at the same time, it's like it definitely seemed like it's this long build up and everything that they've set up even from like the beginning of the season just for him to like just push this into the wall a little bit more, you know?
Yeah,
like he doesn't get as much done, but I definitely how they kill him and like his laughing and like evil, just pure evilness is definitely crazy. I remember the first time watching when he's like pinned down and is about to get stabbed by them, he like bites this arrow out of his chest.
Yeah, I
thought
and then
he spits it out.
I thought he spit it, and I thought he was trying to kill Arondir with it. Truthfully,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, no way. Like, I wonder if they like had, or no, it's out of his hand, not his chest. I feel like I wonder if they had them animate that, and that maybe that was an idea that they had, and then they ended up just like, well, the animation's there and it's fine, but.
I mean, it did. Luckily, it didn't look like it went with any velocity, you know. So that's why I was like, okay, he's fine. But no, freaking Damrod. Honestly, truthfully, I liked the scene a little bit. You know, I liked it for what it was. It was you know, and also the like you said, the metal song does kind of give like a little backstory on him as well, so it's kind of fun. Yeah, but I do think that Adar sending him in is. We're blurring a line here with Adar between getting Sauron and doing what he actually wants. And that, you know, he wants children. He wants to look after the orcs. But at what cost is what we're kind of getting to at this point. Which you said the orc's name is Glug?
Yeah, the
hesitant
good
one?
father orc.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
Number one dad.
I kind of like, I really do kind of feel for Glug because I do see that, you know, I mean, we saw those orcs that were literally leaving when Arondir was following, and they were like, I'm not going to go die there.
Yeah. I think him holding up the other orcs to get shot by the arrows is like, oh, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's kind of fucked up. But it's like, he's protecting himself. If he would have just like, as he marched out, like just killed a couple of, like maybe there's some orcs like cheering like, yeah, Damrod. And then he just like fucking kills them while laughing or something. Like maybe crazy, that would have added a bit more to like how sinister he is.
Sinister he was, yeah.
How it's like kind of fucked up that Adar brought him there and shit, you know, like.
after the scene with the hesitancy and Adar starting to lose his troops, we come to find out that Galadriel's escaped. And Adar's not happy about it. We see the pin, which why would you leave the pin? That's what I want to know. It's like, yo, this is how I escaped. Here's my calling card.
yeah. It's kind of silly that she would leave it.
A sleuth or whatever, but she ends up getting roped into helping move people to like the death pyre, I guess, that they have going on. So she helps move, and I'm at this entire time I'm like, you need to get your hair inside that freaking hood. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you have blonde hair. Everybody else has like gray or like black hair. What are you doing? But
yeah.
Obviously,
well, she's known for having like literally the prettiest hair of all elves. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's why she gives some to Gimli. Like, she has like legendary hair.
Yeah. And so it's just like, that's crazy to me. And I was like, okay, good. The orcs did notice it. So, but she was about to probably get, stabbed or whatever, murder-defied. But Arondir's there to save the day. Thank God. Arondir is so good. But I will have to touch on this a little bit. He makes me sad now because he wants to die.
Yeah.
And it's all for revenge. And so that's a really saddening thing for me to see him so turned with rage that he's willing to give his own life as long as Adar is dead, just because of Brawin. Which, again, kind of goes back to, I really wonder what the story would have been if that didn't happen. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. Something I didn't touch on, and I actually do want to kind of go back to, is what do you think of Adar speaking in Black speech? In flames, they return to darkness to all of the dead orcs.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, like, idea of this, like, kind of, like, tribal religion kind of thing that they've shown in these last two seasons is, like, not something that's really, like, talked about in canon. So it's definitely something that's just more for the show. I think it's fine, and, like, you see that it shows, like, the small bit of humanity that Adar has where, he's shedding a tear, that he truly does think of them as his children, and that, like, he's killing, like, these elves and, sending his children to die and stuff, but, like, to him it's, like, necessary because otherwise they would just be enslaved. And the idea is, okay, we're gonna go kill Sauron, and then we're gonna go back to Mordor, and we're just gonna do our thing in Mordor,
If we pillage a couple villages, oh well, but we're gonna do our own thing,
Yeah.
But I do think that it is interesting because it shows a little bit of a humane side to Adar. Is it needed? Probably not. Is it good? Sure, why not? I don't care. I truthfully wonder. I don't. This is gonna be more at the end of the episode probably for this, but I truthfully do not see Adar making it out of this season. I just don't. I see this as like the end for Adar, but I could be wrong.
Who all do you think? Because we're going into the finale. Obviously, I know who all lives, who all dies.
Yep.
Who all do you think is gonna die next episode?
Sauron. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I really hope not, but we did see Arondir get stabbed and murderified by Adar. I'm hopeful that's not the case, but it looks like Arondir is going to be our scapegoat in this. I really want to know if any of what's happening with the dwarves, because we don't know what's happening with the dwarves, but we might, touch on that a little bit later. But I think like the biggest one that they have is Arondir, but he has made it out of stickier or trickier situations. I mean, I guess Celebrimbor is probably going to die. Because once he finishes the rings, let's just put it that way. Because I don't think those rings are finished. I think somehow the rings are, obviously we know the rings are coming back to Sauron, which I think that's going to be like a big thing. I think it's going to be like Galadriel cannot resist Sauron. And so she's going to either reluctantly give up the rings or, not know that she's giving up the rings to the person that she's giving it up to, and it's going to be Sauron. Because that's the other thing. Wasn't the rings supposed to be given to, like, he was supposed to take over another personality to give the rings to the dwarves?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said, was Sauron supposed to be a different, like, entity, like a different person whenever he gave the rings to the dwarves? Or was it just always Anatar?
I forget. I think he was just Anatar.
Okay. I couldn't remember if, like, you had talked about, because you used to talk about a lot in the past about, you know, like how the rings came to be, you know, even before Rings of Power, like we got into it, you know? And I couldn't remember if Anatar was like the full, like, end all be all, or if it was like, because like, it's like, we all know, like, the main dwarf, Narvi, is that, or what's the main, like, the original dwarf, the one that carved them out of stone? Aule. Aule was,
he's a Valar, yeah.
Yeah, he was made, they were made in darkness, that's why they can resist darkness, you know? And so it's interesting to me that the king is falling into his greed so much. But no, I was curious about that. And I actually kind of wrote it down because I thought about it during this episode, but
yeah, I'm checking to see if, like, I think the idea is just that Sauron gave them to him. I would assume it was as Anatar. I'm trying to see
if it specifies it anymore.
Yeah, if he had, like,
well,
just tricked them as, like, something else.
Yeah. Well, since we're already,
because, like, they talk about like, oh, they give him, like, to literally all the 7 different kindreds, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the other thing. Does it go
Durin's
to
folk, Firebeards, Broadbeams, Ironfists, Stiffbeards, Blacklocks, and Stonefoots?
Yep.
And so it's all, like, the different kings.
Yeah, and so does everybody have to pay tribute to King Durin like they're doing now? You know, that's another interesting thing.
I mean, that's like a non-canon thing, right? But it's like, that's the idea, and, like, the start of, like, just seeing, like, how greedy people get, right?
True.
And
greed overtakes all, man.
Yeah, and Thror, like, it's directly connected to The Hobbit and, like, Thror and the downfall of that and Smaug showing up and stuff, right? Like,
yep.
Basically, because, like, if this were to continue past just the Second Age or whatever, right? Like, if they got that green light, it's like you would then see that ring is showing up at the Lonely Mountain and how that just instantly corrupts Thror's heart and all that. So
yeah, because that was his dad that we see with Gandalf, right? Thorin's dead.
That's Thrain.
Oh, that's Thrain. Okay.
Yeah, so there's Thror, who's the original one who goes crazy in the mountain, like, getting all of it, and then Thrain
is the one that
his son. Yeah, and Thrain is the one who gets, like tortured in Dol Guldur.
So, since we're talking about the dwarves, it doesn't look like they're coming. It says that the king turned his axe on Narvi's men and they're going to dig. And so Durin's worried about Disa, and he has a choice to make. And even at the end of this episode, we don't know that choice. If I had to guess, I think they're going to end up coming to help. But I'm not. I think they might, and that might be why they lose the mountain, maybe. Because we know that they lose the mountain, right? That's the biggest thing. So I'm just trying to think of...
Because of the Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yes, because of the Lord of the Rings. We know they lose Khazad-dûm or Moria.
It turns into Moria, yeah.
So do we need it to turn... That's the thing. Does it turn into Moria first? Or is it already technically Moria? Maybe they overthrow the king, but I also know that it's Durin's bane. So, you know, is the Balrogs, you know, name given to name. You know, given by, like, you know, other people, not its actual name, but I'm intrigued by this. So it's like I would figure, you know, maybe they do leave and that's why the mountain is given up, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe nothing happens there. But That's my thought on that, at least. That's for like at least the entire thing. To wrap this up with a bow, though, I do think it's crazy that Sauron is trying to throw a pity party for himself.
I think it's a really well written scene.
It's well written scene. No, it's well written, but like I'm talking about like in context of everything. It's crazy because of what he's doing. Does that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. When he's like saying like, man, like. Well, and even earlier in the episode, he's talking about, it's a pity that this has to end, right? And
exactly.
How you wonder, like, how much of it is, like, he's like pitying that, like, he's not gonna have this like slave anymore, or
exactly, yeah.
Like you wonder to what degree is he saying that it's a pity, and then also, it would be true that, he was like absolutely corrupted by Morgoth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that
yep. He tortured
in order
him,
to like punish him, or in order to ensure that his will is like that he's dominating Sauron.
Yep.
He would torture him for sure. Like it makes sense. Like
it makes complete sense. But at the same time, it's like, it's like kind of like exactly what Celebrimbor was saying. It's like, hey, you knew how it felt for that to happen. Why are you doing it to me now? And it's like so interesting to get behind, like I put myself obviously in Celebrimbor's shoes in that point. It's like, I'm asking the same questions, it's like if I was the person that was, supposedly being the Lord of Eregion, Anatar, why am I doing the things that I'm doing now just because? Like, Morgoth is gone. I don't have to do this. And it's just because his search for power, it seems to be.
Right. When he's like, basically the idea, like, that what Sauron wants is he wants to control everything. So that Morgoth there can be happen. Peace, technically, right?
Yeah, so Morgoth doesn't happen again.
He wants to create things and perfect things. Like, basically, what Morgoth wanted is just to destroy everything in spite of basically God, right?
Yeah.
And just destroy everything. Whereas what Sauron wanted was, I want to control everything so that I can make it in like my image. Basically, I want it to be my like perfect version where everybody like worships me and I'm this all-powerful person and there is no war because everybody just like worships just me or whatever. Exactly, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I have all this power and I can create all these things, and like he wants to make his own utopia that's in fact just slavery for the entire world, for everybody. Right?
Yeah. Which technically that does happen in a way. Interesting. I did like this scene where it's like, you truly are the great deceiver, is what Celebrimbor says. You can even deceive yourself, it's because he's like talking to himself almost, like talking about that, what happened with Morgoth and what happened. It's like, you really wanted this. You really wanted to make the rings, Celebrimbor. Like, this is actually, it's not me that's making you do this. I'm, actually bipartisan. You wanted to do making the rings. And it's like so intriguing to me that it's like, no, you both wanted to make the rings. Like it's just so intriguing to me because it's like, obviously, as we see later in the episode, Celebrimbor admits to Galadriel, it's like the things he did, I didn't have to do, but I wanted to do them. And it's exactly what, what happened to Galadriel. She resisted the army. She resisted being, being a queen, but Celebrimbor obviously didn't resist that initial urge of being the person that created the something greater than the Silmarils.
No, it's really cool how he's just literally just perma manipulating while also possibly manipulating Durin cross map.
Yeah, he's definitely cross mapping some people.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and then also like you have to question like. What does Sauron maybe have to do with the like Easterling stuff? Like, who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. Because that's a different wizard, and obviously we know about Tom, and he's like, "Yo, the Dark Wizard rises over here, Sauron rises over here." So it's like interesting. I don't think we see much more of it, do we? But that's just my thought. We don't really get to see much more of like Numenor, and we don't get to really see much more of we're pretty much focused on this fight, and this fight only is what it seems like for the rest of the season. There may be like some flashes, but I really feel like not unless they wrap it up with a bow in the first 30 minutes do we see anything else. But I will have to say Celebrimbor is a tough cookie. Cuts off his own thumb, maybe a finger or two, to get out of the shackle.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And then Rianne, they turned her into a porcupine, and she still got that arrow off. That is amazing.
I the one thing with that where I'm just like, okay, like it's this like it's not a battering ram, but it's just pulling, like it's using, like it's basically like a giant crossbow that's like ripping these chains out from the wall. Why the fuck is there a fucking giant vat of explosives on the back? Or like tar that's explosive.
So it's grease.
Like for what reason?
It's to grease. I mean, if I'm gonna get literal, it's to grease it up. You know, like if it starts to like, but like, I get what you're saying. It doesn't need to. It could have been like a grease. You know, like the orcs could have had like grease like on their belt, maybe. You know, like something like that. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. But also, I'm happy for it because I like the big explosion.
Yeah, like that part was like cool enough, I guess, right? But it's like,
so
it felt kind of contrived for sure.
It definitely did. So obviously everything's starting to fall apart, and everything's not going the way of the elves. But Elrond is met with Adar. He's on his knees. He's kind of distraught because he thought his friend Durin was gonna come. And we find out he did have the ring. Adar says, never fight in anger, never go to war in anger, and snatches the ring from him. And then we get credits. I'm so ready for the next episode. Episode 8 can't come fast enough. Oh, wait, it's already here. I don't have to wait a week.
Can't wait for next week. I mean,
wink, wink.
Depending on when we get this episode of the podcast out, maybe it's next week from when you guys are hearing it. So
it's possible.
Or maybe you're watching way later and it's already out, so you can see what we think of the finale, well, specifically what Swirls thinks, and I guess then I can mask off my opinions on things because I haven't wanted to like influence too much what Swirls thinks of these things,
of these last 3 episodes, because it's been, I know this has been scuffed, guys. I know this has been scuffed, but I promise you we will not be watching these episodes separate from here on out. So
yeah season 3 will be a lot less scuffed.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'm excited to hear what you think about the finale. So you think Arondir's dead, and
Arondir's
who else?
Arondir's probably dead, and Celebrimbor's probably gonna die. I don't know if it's necessarily within, like, it's probably in the next episode that Celebrimbor dies. Oh, Adar's I think Adar dies as well.
Okay.
So,
that's on the death
like
list: Celebrimbor, Adar, and Arondir. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
I mean, we've seen Arondir get stabbed in the chest already, so. And I'm sad. Jay can tell you I was yelling no.
Yeah.
Dude, I will just say, shout out freaking Adar for catching the freaking bow and arrow shot from Arondir. That was crazy. But,
and it's like in the background of the shot that he does it too. It's not even like the main part of the shot. Like he just he just catches that shit and stabs him with it.
So, I guess, is there any other questions you want to ask me for next episode? You said you might have some.
Okay. Is there anything that you specifically would want to see as far as like a conclusion in the next, like, is there a specific season? Like, is there like a specific storyline, like, oh, I want this to finish up, or I want this, I'd like to see this. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's harsh, because it's like I feel like we have so much buildup that we couldn't all do it in one. I guess the only thing I really feel like they can wrap up is this fight, is this war, like this skirmish. Yeah, this skirmish.
Yeah.
I think they could wrap it up. It probably won't be with a bow, but I think that obviously somehow she's got to get her ring back. You know, she's she's got to get a ring back. But maybe that's why this is like a big thing. It's like she can figure out that she doesn't need the ring, and that's why she wields the ring again. I don't know, but it's interesting to me that I really think that she has to have that back at some point. I would really love if they wrapped up more of the rune stuff, because I'm intrigued with that stuff a little bit, but I think that that's going to be dragged out to season 3. And I think Numenor's getting dragged out, and then don't get me started on a seal. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with the Southlands anymore, because like obviously they have their own little.
Try to even remember like what is the last thing a seal was even doing, right?
A
like,
seal was when he got cucked by Astrid or Estrid.
Yeah, gets cucked by them seeing the husband again, and then he's just still with the Southlanders, right?
Yeah, he's with the Southlanders. They went back to their town, I guess, and
they found Theo from the Ents, and then
yep, because that was all last episode.
Well,
right, or was that episode 5?
No,
might have been episode 5.
I was like, yeah, honestly, it was maybe even episode 4. I don't remember.
Dude, it's all a blur. I've watched all these episodes with so much within the last week. But anywho, well, I'm Swirls Barkley. If you want to follow me on any social media or anything like that, Swirls Barkley 72. That's probably where you're gonna find me, mainly on Twitter. But Jay, if you want to shout people know where you're at. Come on, you're the Super SpikeGhetti Bros.
Yep, follow the Super SpikeGhetti Bros on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube,
TikTok,
and make sure to leave a like for the show. We will be back for the finale next time, and we can talk more. I can talk, basically I won't have to worry about giving any spoilers away,
Oh, my rating for this one, by the way, is 10 out of 10. This was a great episode. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I agree. Like a 9 or a 10. Like if I think giving it lower than a 9 is like kind of crazy.
It's kind of.
It was one of those episodes where, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, like you keep thinking like, oh man, it's gonna end here. Like this is the cliffhanger ending. This is the cliffhanger ending. It just keeps on going and going, and I think it adds to the I'm trying to think of the right term. Like it's like kind of basically just like the stress that you feel watching, right? Where the stress of the siege, and like it almost makes it a little bit of like a thriller in that, like, he's finishing the rings, he lops off his finger, he tries to destroy them in the fire. First. They're too strong for the fire.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, he lops his thumb off, then he escapes. And then
thank God for Galadriel.
They're like, oh my God, look what he's done to himself. And they're about to lock him back up. And then Galadriel shows up and is like, basically snaps them all out of it. And then
and they kill
he's like, I got to go back and install him. One thing I remember thinking and saying was like, okay, like, so what, like, imagine like if he just makes Celebrimbor make another 9. You know what I mean? Like, I remember thinking that, like, okay, but like, what if he just makes another 9? You know what I mean? Like,
true.
He just
locks him up again.
Make it. So
it's interesting, yeah.
It's definitely a decision for him to go in, and I remember being very like
questionable about it.
Question mark about that, and then the scene where they're going in to confront him and they're gonna arrest him, and then he just makes them all stab each other.
Yeah, and
they all collapse to the floor
or kill each other.
And then he cuts off the head of the captain, and you basically the episode just ends with them just constantly just fighting to the death. And,
I really thought it was gonna end right there.
And then like Arondir falls. All these like. Elrond is just in complete shock watching all these other people fall, and then Adar gets the ring, and for some reason Adar's face is like completely CGI, like he must have not been on set that day or something. I don't know.
Or it just didn't look good. Maybe the makeup didn't look good.
Makeup was scuffed or something.
So.
They didn't have time to put the makeup on, so they just did the dots on his face or something. Who knows? Who knows?
They were like, the strike is happening right now.
Yeah. And then just cut to the banger that is
episode 8.
The Last Ballad of Damrod.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I give it a solid 9.
I
We're
think it's a 10
rambling
out of
here
10.
at the end. But yeah, catch us next time where we'll talk way more about spoilers, where we think the show is going to be going with season 3.
Let's go.
And what we think about the show in general. And then we'll be back for season 3 after next week.
Maybe
stay tuned.
maybe a little sneak peek episode 2 with a special guest you guys might know.
A music guest, maybe.
So awesome. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Enjoy your 11sies, your dinner, your supper, your late night snack, your Taco Bell third breakfast, and we'll be back next time for second breakfast. Thank you.